Jim, is your little wavy shit on the Audacity going? Do you see the waves when you talk?
The waves?
Yeah,
I f***ing know how Audacity works.
Well,
I'm not a Neanderthal, okay? I know what I'm doing.
He knows two things.
Because you asked
Audacity and chopsticks. Don't take them away from him.
You asked a lot of questions.
I got 4 skills. I got my Chewbacca impression, how to use chopsticks as a white person, and my ability to use Audacity like not a Neanderthal. And then my 4th thing is my ability to make, say the 4 important words in a Lil Jon voice, but like only at like decibel levels unfit for a impression in the middle of dinner.
Oh, I see.
Like,
Jim,
can't do it in a restaurant. But
Jim,
all I know is you were asking a lot of questions.
Yeah,
before we started, like a Neanderthal would.
I thought that each chopstick counted as one thing.
No, you need them together. They're a single thing.
Right, but if you're pump your resume up, like if you're gonna,
if you have training chopsticks, they're fucking held together with a rubber band anyway.
Right, but if you're gonna pump your resume up about how many cool things you can do, you might as well.
It's chopsticks. 2 chopsticks is 1 chopsticks.
So like pants.
Wait, isn't it 1 chopstick, 2 chopsticks?
No, 2 chopsticks is 1 chopsticks.
No, I've played Sushi Go. Chopsticks is 1 card. You only get to draft that once. You don't get 2. You can get 2 picks with that.
Sushi Go is a pretty good opening turn in old school Magic.
All right, this conversation sucks, so I'm pouring a beer. You know what that means? It's time to start this podcast. We are on a 3-week Corbinless vacation, which means we get to have guests. We get to stay up as late as we want, and we get to drink beer on a weeknight. It's episode 378, which means in about 6 months we'll be on episode 400. So if you would like to get in on helping us make episode 400 a very special one, because I don't know of any other Magic podcasts that are still going that hit episode 400. Limited resources, maybe? You know, Monday Night Magic, are they still doing that? Isn't there like a Commander podcast that's been going for like 15 years? But other than that, we're the only finance podcast that's made it 400 episodes.
And we're not even a finance podcast anymore.
Yeah, we're an MTG Lifestyle podcast, and accordingly, I'm drinking an expensive beer, and I'm going to talk about it. It's a dirty IPA, as I call them, the New England style IPA where they don't filter anything out of it, and like you can't drink the last sip in the can because it's all dead yeast and you throw up. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Anything that's got a bunch of crap at the bottom is my favorite kind of beer. I don't know why. They're like, can't they just filter that out for you? I'm like, nah, it's a good shit. Leave that in there. I love.
You like
the first time I had a German Hefeweizen and I drank the last sip and everyone laughed at me. I love that.
All right.
So, DJ, you had a story to tell, and I pre-screened this story because we've done too many episodes with Corbin where he's like, I'm going to tell a story, and then he just talks about esports for 15 minutes. So, take it away, DJ.
Story is a strong word. I'm toning this down to an anecdote at best for the sake of the viewers and the listeners and those who are plugging their ears into this audio file. But
that's the second week in a row where I set you up for something that we like pre-discussed how I was going to set it up, and then you like contradicted me. There won't be a third time.
No. I was burning the first 30 seconds of the story so I could actually fill out the last 30 seconds with the story.
Why are you padding it?
I mean, I am selling some not factory cut Jace Wheeler of Mysteries on Twitter, and somebody replied to me and fansplained, trying to, in a good-hearted way, their heart was in the right place. They were trying to make sure that I was aware that they were super rare and super hard to find, and that miscuts could be extremely valuable. And they pointed me in the direction of the Misprint Guy, who is a known misprint guy who collects oddities and treasures and crimped cards and whatnot. But unfortunately for that person, these are not factory cut Jaces. I bought War of the Spark sheets and had them sliced up. So maybe click on the profile of the person who you're applying to make sure that they're not a vendor or do this for a living before you give them advice. But I mean, their heart was in the right place, so I can't fault them too much.
You indicated to me you were going to fault them, but that's fine. Hey, DJ, someone continued to complain and continued to get sent sheets until they had 4 of them still. And they wanted to find someone locally who could do something like that for them. What are the kinds of things they would look for?
Local cutting of sheets? I mean, you would just want to branch out in your generic Magic Facebook groups and just put your feelers out there and see if you can get ties to... I mean,
so you would try to approach it from the Magic side rather than the printing side?
Yeah.
Rather than like, there's like, oh, the print shops that do this will have that sort of cutter or whatever?
I mean, yeah, that's just because Magic is what I know and printing is what I don't, so I would rather stay within my sphere of influence and try to find somebody who is a Magic person who knows printing rather than try to find somebody who's a printing expert who's going to potentially overcharge me.
Can't you just say you don't have any advice?
I mean, I also don't know why you would restrict yourself to just a local person who can do that. The sheets aren't that expensive to ship. Like, I shipped mine to a semi-local guy who was like 2 hours away just because I didn't want to drive to him.
Cool. All right.
So like,
well,
I can give you my guy. I can give you my guy who did my sheets.
Well, DJ will be giving out the name and contact info of his guy in our Discord server that you can access. If you are a patron who goes to patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery, gives us as little as $1 a month, which is 20 or 25 cents an episode. In that Discord server, you can make fun of Corbin and his extended absences, and you can get all sorts of inside information. And, I don't know, you could get this handsome drinking glass.
What do you mean by insider information?
Stuff only available to the people in our Discord server.
But you can complain about Corbin all the time, like anywhere.
Yeah, you should do that on Twitter at CHostler88. He still has the 88 on there, and he tried to get C Hostler, and there was some dude who tweeted 4 times in 2011
about
or
his
something
lunch.
like that.
Like, he's like having lunch at work. That's his like most recent tweet in 2009. and then Twitter, Twitter as an entity is like, no, we need to preserve this for the archives after the
This
apocalypse.
is in the Library of Congress, okay? Yeah. Going to lunch is in the Library of Congress. Meanwhile, Corbin's still stuck with C Hostler 88.
Corbin's birthday is in 2 weeks, just so you know. He will be 32. Because Facebook says that his birthday is February 21st, 1988. So make sure to wish him a terrible birthday.
So, yep. So for those of you wondering why you just experienced a brief cut in the episode, there's going to be some stuff in After Hours that people to go to patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery and give us $20 a month, which is $4 or $5 an episode. We'll have access to those After Hours, and that is stuff that does not make the cut of the podcast. But what does make the podcast is
Breaking
Jim Casale.
No.
Yep. What? You're not fucking driving the bus. Sit down. Sit down.
Why are there 2 wheels?
Sit down.
In the front. Why is there 2 steering wheels? There's something wrong with this bus.
Well, because he hits his horn and it's a squeaky thing. And he's got like.
I was gonna say I have the unplugged video game controller.
This is like the introduction to The Simpsons where Maggie's driving and then you realize that Marge was actually driving the whole time.
Fisher Price steering wheel. Yeah, exactly.
I have the unplugged video game controller that the younger brother gets.
The problem is, I can't give you a broken controller in terms of talking. You can just blurt shit out. But look, you don't direct where this podcast goes.
I was going to direct
and now everyone in Discord's going to be like, DJ sure handled Jason by blurting out Breaking Bulk. No, that. I'm in charge. And I realize that if you have to tell people in charge, you're not in charge. But look, I don't want to be in charge. Corbin left me in charge. I'm the only adult. So it falls on me to try to navigate us. And,
you're the only adult. Okay.
I mean, we got a child and someone from Florida. I'm the only adult here.
I'm not from Florida. I live in Florida.
You are from Florida.
I'm not from Florida. I've never been from Florida.
Okay,
I don't even say y'all, unironically.
You don't get to choose where you were born, but you do get to choose where you end up. So, like, ending up in Florida is worse than being from Florida.
That's not true, because if you're from Florida, you're probably still there, as I found out. They don't leave. I don't know why. People from Florida don't leave Florida.
They have the keys. Because you have an ankle monitor. Everyone in Florida has an ankle monitor, and they're not allowed
It's true. Leave. No, actually, see, what happens is everyone ends up in Florida. I just got here like 30 years too early.
Well, yeah, like most people can't leave Florida because they can't like pass a driver's test anymore.
I mean, neither can like people that live in New York City because they don't have cars. But most people like live in the Northeast and like live in reasonable, reputable states until they get old, and then they go to Florida to retire because everything's dirt cheap and you don't have to pay income tax.
There you go.
So what you're saying is that most people in Florida turn to zombies.
Yeah.
And zombies are the theme of my Breaking Bulk this week. I'd say
we're not doing Breaking Bulk yet, you.
Wow, I thought Marcel's segues were bad, but these are on another level.
Jim was gonna tell a story, but no, dude. Why are you so eager to go to Breaking Bulk? I gotta know. Do you think we could do this podcast in 20 minutes if you just push hard enough?
I was hoping.
We're in the weeds because
we're in the Everglades.
Grabbed the wheel while I was driving.
We're in the Everglades.
Dude, you ran us into a ditch, and then you're like, no, we're fine. And you just like continued going to the ditch till it got to a river.
So, Jim, we like to talk about how no one dies at Disney. Do you have any Disney death stories for the after hours before we go into Breaking Bulk?
I mean, are we talking about like literal things or figurative things? Because a lot of people's hopes and dreams die there. Because it's not nearly as magical as what people want to think it is.
Oh, is that like when Japanese tourists go to Paris and then it's like...
There's like a real syndrome for it? Yeah, like...
Yeah, and it's not everything they thought it would be, so they get depressed.
They have to go to the embassy and get like special antidepressants or something.
I don't know why it specifically references Japanese tourists in that... But like, that's not just like a racial thing I made up. That's just...
No, I know it. I read the same TIL post on Reddit you did, Jason. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for the most part, Disney is pretty safe. I don't remember like anything that is like specifically Disney's fault, but there's definitely some things that have happened that are very apparent now that they've already happened. I know a little, I think a toddler got eaten by an alligator.
Well, yeah, we covered that one.
Yeah. And now if you go like anywhere that you see like water. Anywhere you see water, there are signs warning you about alligators and snakes and how you should not go anywhere near the water.
Also, they went to all the alligators and they put a loud ticking clock in their stomach so you could hear them coming.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think that's the case. I think they relocated them all.
I read
something as many of them as they could.
I read something where like none of the flags at Disney actually have 50 stars or whatever.
Yeah, so they don't have to lower them because it would be a federal law that they have to lower them to half mast. So
I also read that like that's not a law. It's just like out of respect. So they're still being disrespectful.
I like how they're skirting the law as if Disney abides by like any other laws in general. Like they're like we don't give a for a monopoly, but we gotta skirt around this one flag law. We don't want the flag cops to show up on us. We don't want flag.
But they just like it's like who do we have to just get out their checkbook? It's like, all right, well, we didn't like how much money Star Wars was making, so like we just bought all of the Star Wars. We bought every Star War. Like, what do we have to buy to not have to with these flags anymore? It's like just pay a guy to slice a star off the bottom, I guess. I don't know, man. You cut one stripe and all of a sudden it's like, well, this represents 12 colonies. What about 13? No, New Jersey's dead to us. They know what they did.
So there's actually a documentary on Disney Plus about like how Star Wars came into the fold for Disney. And I didn't actually know this, but they had Star Wars like rides and Star Wars Land like way before they owned LucasArts.
But yeah, don't they have like Harry Potter stuff and all kind of stuff? So like they just liked Star Wars.
So Harry Potter is part of Universal. It's a different park or different company, but they wanted to build a futuristic ride for what at the time was called MGM Studios, and they built Star Tours, which is based off of a flight simulator. That they retooled to house like 16 people in a car and play some Star Wars shit in front of it. But that was like a thing that they did like in in partnership with LucasArts. They didn't own the rights to it. Kind of how like there's some weird in Orlando right now because Universal Studios made a partnership with Marvel like a million billion years ago, and have all their superhero stuff in their parks. So,
yeah, the Paramount parks, like Kings Island, I think, or something like that. Yeah, they have like a ton of Marvel in Universal.
Yeah, it's Universal Studios has all these Marvel rides like the Hulk roller coaster and whatever, and I think there's like a Doctor Doom ride and the Spider-Man ride, and they can't build any at Disney yet because they don't own the rights to it in Florida. So until the rights expire, they can't build anything. But Universal also can't build new things because they don't have rights to future things. So right now they're building a Guardians of the Galaxy ride in Epcot because that's the only thing that they have the rights to do in Florida.
How does
like they can't...
That's a spaceship thing, so that's cool as hell anyway.
Well, that's mind-blowing to me that like Disney cannot own something, right? Like I don't know, I just have this assumption that they can throw money at whatever they want and suddenly
they probably could
or
throw
just break someone's leg. Couldn't Disney just send a bunch of thugs like dressed like Mickey Mouse and Goofy into like Universal to just start smashing shit from the CEO's office?
Probably like
sign the paper, we'll break your legs.
That's a really creepy.
I mean, that's Mickey in South Park, right? He's just like this mob boss character, right?
I don't know, man.
Basically.
Imagine watching South Park after like 2003. Imagine like
I'm pretty sure Mickey's been a mob boss in South Park since 2003.
Hey, who's watched it since then? Not this guy.
Anyway, I'm really excited because Universal's building a new theme park, and that's gonna have Nintendo in it, and it's gonna be great.
Oh, that sounds fantastic! I'd go to that.
Yeah, they're supposed to be making a Donkey Kong minecart like roller coaster and a.
If you don't jump at the right time, you end up.
Yeah, you die.
It was all your bananas, so to speak. But you don't die at Disney; they'll take you to the hospital and pronounce you there.
No, you'll die at Universal. And then they're also making an AR ride for Mario Kart, where like there'll be computers that ride against you next to you. And I guess you're gonna wear like some glasses or some shit to see them.
Wouldn't it be easier to just have go-karts?
In theory, yeah, I suppose so. But they're like it's harder to break holograms than just to break like actual machinery.
I guess, yeah. Plus, like people would die on Rainbow Road for sure.
Well, I think I've also like read rumors that like you can throw items and stuff at them. Like you're gonna like go through like the question mark blocks and get like a shell, and you can throw the shell at them.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it should be cool if that's what they do, but obviously it's all rumors.
It's like, hey, do you like playing Mario Kart at home? Do you wish it cost $97?
Whoa! First of all, that's way too little. It costs like $150, but. For a Florida resident, it's like way cheaper because you can go infinity times for like $250 or $450. I don't remember how much it is.
Jesus.
Yeah, theme park annual passes are fucking expensive. That's why I have none this year. Like they built all this new Star Wars in Hollywood Studios, and the lines are insanely long. And
when are
I don't
they
want
not long? Is there a good time to go?
Yes, there is a great time to go. You go when children are in school, and it is not a holiday. Okay. I would recommend going also during the cooler months of the year where you're not gonna fucking die. So like between October and November before Thanksgiving, and then like January, February, maybe even March, just not around any of the holidays. So don't come around Valentine's Day. Don't come around the New Year. None of that stuff. That's the most enjoyable time. That's when there's the least amount of people, and it's not hot. Or not as hot. I mean, it's still kind of warm.
See, you didn't think we'd have any finance tips, but we got you with some finance tips, so...
Yeah, there's a ton of like cool stuff to do there. But, yeah, they're raising ticket prices this year because of all the new Star Wars stuff. I don't know if it'll hold.
It will.
It might not. Like, so the problem
I paid
is
$72 for Disney Plus, and I watched 10 episodes of The Mandalorian. And now I'm like, oh, I guess I got The Simpsons. Like, Disney can just charge whatever they want, and even people who know better will pay it.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars has that thing on people where like they're like, oh, you can pay $30 at Walmart for this like cheap lightsaber, or you can go to Disney and you like custom build your own lightsaber with like whatever hilt you want, or whatever colored saber you want, like some cool sounds, and you spend $200. Your choice.
Yep.
Do I get to go into the cave and face the trials and get my crystal?
Yeah, but I think you have to be like 8 to do that.
8?
Yeah,
So
like there's
I'm
a jet. Yes, there's like a Jedi training class, but it's for like small children, not like
dude.
super
If someone
small
dressed
children.
as Yoda says too old to begin the training he is, I will flip out.
I don't know that there's a Yoda animatronic.
I said someone in a Yoda costume.
Well, Yoda is like unreasonably short, even for like short people that work at Disney. He's too short. There's no like character played by a person. And it's the same with the Avatar stuff. You remember Avatar, right? The James Cameron film?
I don't remember anything about it. I remember that I saw it, and I remember that everybody saw it, and I remember it made the most money out of any movie
like
ever.
It had this weird mandala effect where like...
Yeah.
I saw it twice. I enjoyed it a lot.
Nobody can quote that movie. Anyone's like, I loved Avatar. I'm like, cool. Quote a line.
No,
from
man.
that movie,
I remember them taking their like dick hairs and putting them inside of other animals to drive them. I thought that was like really weird and kind of cool. Anyway, the characters from Avatar are like 8 feet tall or something, so like they can't reasonably be can't use body costume. Like people can't be inside the costume.
What about a 7 foot tall person on stilts, huh?
That's basically what Darth Vader is. The Darth Vader costume is very tall and has a real person inside of it. And like I'm 6 foot tall, and Darth Vader like looks down on me like a lot. I think the only person that might be as tall or taller than him is like the proxy guy, because that guy is like a real life giraffe.
Yeah, he could be Chewbacca.
Yeah, he could be Chewbacca, and probably not need to have like the platform shoes.
I mean, Corbin's
You know
pretty
what's
tall.
sad? Meeting Peter Mayhew and Richard Kiel like within the same year, and they were both just like completely hobbled by their huge size, and they had like a ton of health problems from their height. I felt bad. I was like, oh, they're too big. They're like Great Danes. They have hip problems. That really sucks. So like anytime somebody like Doug Jones or somebody like that's like just super tall, you gotta meet them while you can, because it'll be their life will suck at the end. Was that too bleak? It was like all your tall heroes will be dead soon. Sorry, proxy guy.
I mean, sometimes
that's a weird Kobe joke.
He wasn't that tall.
I don't think he was that tall at all. Shaq outlived him. And Shaq's tall and wide.
Yeah, Shaq looks like he loves fudge. He does not take care of himself.
Shaq's got that pizza Skrilla.
I mean, when you're 7 foot tall, like, it doesn't really matter what you do. He's just a big guy. He's just a big boy.
Yep.
Even when he was like a rookie, he was still like enormous. Just big guy.
Just a huge guy. Oh, right.
Yeah.
I refound the Hot Pocket meme format recently. It's pretty fire.
And by the meme format, you just mean people photoshopping them to have like Tide Pod flavored Hot Pockets.
Yeah, my favorite one was Not Pockets, where it's just bread.
That's somebody would buy that.
Somebody has. It's called bread.
I don't know, microwave bread, that could be good. If you made a kind of bread that you could microwave.
Yeah,
you can't microwave all bread.
Yeah, you can do that. It's called pizza.
I don't microwave pizza. I'd rather eat it cold than microwave it.
I mean, that's also an option. You can do either one, whichever one you prefer. It depends on how shitty the pizza is. If the pizza is really shitty, you have to use a microwave to heat it up. If the pizza's really good, you can eat it cold. That's like my scale, like my sliding scale of like How good is the pizza?
I don't.
It's how good is it?
Pizza.
How good is it the second time?
Why would I have pizza?
I just don't eat cold pizza.
All right, you're cool.
All right. So, moving on to a segment that we like to call Breaking Bulk.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
Because remember that television program, Breaking Bad? Well, it's back in bulk form. What we do is we play a little guessing game where we quiz each other on a card we found in bulk or that people might not know the insanely high value of. And we get the other people to guess based on some clues. And it's a great way to make 30 seconds worth of information take a couple minutes, man. Because we gotta pad out this episode. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but we gotta water it down a little bit. So I'm gonna go first to show you all it's done.
Gotta add some Hot Pocket filling to this episode.
Hot Pocket. They're not gonna know what we're referencing, but that's fine. That's just fine. Can you guys believe the price of this Hour of Devastation Uncommon?
Lord of the Accursed? Oh, instant.
Can you believe this is over $2?
I'm sorry. Hour of Devastation Uncommon?
Instant.
Yeah. Instant.
Censor? No, that's Amonkhet.
That's Amonkhet, and that's... Is that common?
No, it's uncommon.
Okay.
I was only wrong on one count, and I'm not Corbin. I'm not gonna pick like a Visions rare with this in this little particular.
Is it Equipoise? I don't even remember.
You said it's a common instant.
It's an uncommon instant.
Is it it's a braid, right?
It's a braid.
Oh yeah.
It's a bird. It's a braid. It's a braid. A braid is it's over $2, and I still get these in bulk because people. I don't know, man. I don't know why I get these because people should have picked them at the time and just had them rotting in their collection.
This card's always been a pick.
Yeah, it has always been a pick, so it's extra.
Isn't that the point of this? Is that it's always been a pick?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, it's more a pick now because of Pioneer, but there was no point at which you should have ever put this card in bulkiness.
Well, there's another card that shouldn't have ever been in bulk. It has 3 printings. Ice Age 5th Edition Eternal Masters. Can you believe Pyroblast is over $2?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yep. Pyroblast 3 printings, none of them all that recent.
The Eternal Masters one is the good one.
Yeah.
Don't they keep doing Red Elemental Blast instead or something?
Yep.
Yep. So the fact that the Eternal Masters was like the most recent time they printed Pyroblast means Red Blast is everywhere, but Pyroblast was the Ice Age one. And it's the good one.
And Pyroblast is technically better because you can target anything.
Yep. It says target permanent if it's blue, not a blue permanent. So, yep. I don't know what situation that would come up where you're trying to Pyroblast Hirobi Death's Wail or some shit. But hey, you know what? More power to
Well, it's relevant for it's relevant for like Monastery Mentor triggers and like prowess and all that stuff.
I see. You're just
like
playing
young
it
Pyromancer. You just cast it as a spell.
Yeah, man. You put it in your graveyard so you can use your Uro and escape it. You can do that too.
There you go. There you go. You can play this without a legal target to destroy.
No, it is a legal target.
A legal target to destroy. You can just like destroy target permanent, but it's not blue.
It's like one with nothing, except you don't have to discard your whole hand. You just have to put it in the graveyard.
Hey man,
it's like this one card except completely different. It's like Ponder, except you don't draw any cards or shuffle your deck.
It is more similar to one with nothing than it is to Red Elemental Blast. I will give you that.
It's a really good counterspell in Mental Magic.
It's also a really good card in Commander. It's actually just good.
Yeah, people play a lot of blue stuff. The blue blast and Hydro Blast are not good because red is a bad color in Commander.
But like when you're playing with red cards and you counter somebody's Cyclonic Rift, they will never forget it.
They will also never forgive you, so you're gonna be dead next game.
Not if you still have your Pyroblast. If they're still playing a blue deck,
you can't Pyroblast literally everything they play.
You can guttural response it.
Not if you're playing a mono red deck.
Why would you play a mono red deck?
Because
Thanks, Mark Rosewater, for not letting us play Guttural Response in our mono red decks.
DJ, why are you going ahead to the next segment every single time?
Just because it makes you mad at this point.
All right, who's next with their breaking ball?
I've got a black Commander 2017 uncommon.
Commander 2017. I'm gonna type. You're gonna hear me typing, and it's just because I want to type Commander 2017.
So you know what the set symbol.
So I know what the set symbol looks like.
It's
Commander
the
2017.
Jason, it's the shield. It's the shield.
Oh, it's
the shield.
kitty cats, wizards, dragons, and vampires. Okay, so it's a black what?
Uncommon. With no reprintings. It's a new card. It was a new card.
Is it a creature?
No. It was a new card in C17, no reprinting. So this is
this is the Wizards deck? Is it the Necromancer Wizard?
Uncommons are in multiple decks. So
Yeah, but it's the vampire
Lord of the Accursed?
No, it's the uncommon vampire that reanimates a wizard or a vampire, right?
I know what you're talking about, and it is not that card. It is not a creature.
It's not the cursed. It's not the curse thing? A disturbance?
It is the Curse of Disturbance.
Oh, okay. See, I
was replying to Jim, who was saying that it was like the Vampire Necromancer Wizard or whatever. And it's not the Vampire Necromancer Wizard. It is Curse of Disturbance, which is a 3-mana curse. Enchant player. When enchanted player is attacked, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. So I play this in my Thantis deck. I did not know it was worth money, but it is a nice way to get some free value and just put a target on a person's back. Because the person who is attacking said cursed player gets the zombie, which they want, and then you also get a zombie every time somebody attacks that person. So it is a good way to generate value, put a lot of tokens on the board. My Thantis deck is very, very I don't know what the term is. It's like, it's not group slug, it's not group hug, it's give everybody a bunch of tokens and make combat steps happen and buff every creature. So like
you just make everybody, it's group slug, I guess.
Well,
right?
Group Slug is like Mogus Painful Quandary, where you just make everyone hate you for with black red prison-y.
Okay, group mug then. I'm gonna call it group mug.
I like that
because you make everybody attack each other.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So it's just very all combat. It is the deck to build when you hate people who refuse to attack, and you have a player group who's all just like, oh, I'm gonna roll a die to decide who attack. No, the Thantis is just give the blue-white control player a bunch of 5/5s and make them attack. That is this deck. And Curse of Disturbance is $2.50. It is also one of those niche cards where the TCG player direct supply is abnormally low. So when that happens, you can sometimes just make up your own price on the card, where if there's no supply on direct specifically, like there might be sellers that have the card in stock at $1.99 or $1.87 or whatever, but if there's no direct sellers with the card, I can just go $4.75, and then eventually you'll have somebody building a commander deck, and they just filter through the direct, and they hit all, and they just optimize their cart to filter through direct, and then they buy my copy at 2x retail. So that always feels nice.
Yep, that's a little trick. Another little trick is listen to this podcast 3 years ago where we say buy Curse of Opulence, because that's $5 now. We did it.
I was just saying, couldn't you just say buy every commander deck? They're always worth money.
Well, they're not always worth money, but the Commander 2017 decks are all over $100 except for the Wizards one.
The Dragon one is almost $200.
It's crazy. I mean, I get it because they're tribal, but at the same time, nothing from the year before or the year after is over 100. It's crazy. So
I mean, Atraxa is close to 100, right?
Oh, that's right. Atraxa.
It's like Atraxa and Bray are if they're not 100, I'm pretty sure they're very close. I think they are. They might be, but
and Atraxa has been reprinted, right? Like it was in one of those commander
anthologies.
anthologies.
Had the anthology, yeah.
It would have been even more money.
But yeah, the Draconic Domination deck TCG low is $195. Last sold listing $167.
Woo! I'm so glad I just got exactly the number I needed and cracked them all open. Like I did every other year. I bought a couple cases, but 2017 I was like, these stupid kitty cat tribal deck, screw it.
I did the same thing. I usually buy them every year, and the one year I didn't buy them was the partner commander year, and I hated myself for that.
I have a Japanese dragon one that is worth nothing.
Oh, sick.
Yep.
I can't get $100 for it, and the English one's 200. So I did it.
You're the real MVP. So is it my turn?
Yep. No, it's Corbin's
All right.
turn.
Yeah.
All right,
Corbin's
Corbin.
going to be entering his into the spreadsheet. If you don't know what the spreadsheet is, people go to patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery and give us $10 a month, have access to the spreadsheet where DJ is going to input all of our picks from tonight into the spreadsheet, and you will have access to it immediately so you can see on Monday night when we're recording rather than waiting until this episode goes live. And Jim's pick will be in there also. We did
Sweet. So Jason, just quick side thing. Have you ever considered trying to interview for like the color commentator job for the Blackhawks? Because you are the greatest shill I think I've ever heard. You'd be like the greatest guy to be like, this is the Chevy power play brought to you by Chevy, and just like tell them everything they need to know.
The NHL has gotten almost cartoonish because it's like it's the fifth third bank third period. Another Chevy drive Chicago power play.
Yep, exactly. Like the
Oh,
only
check
ones
it out!
that
Patrick Kane fires it from the Waffle House smothered hash browns hash marks. And it's in on goal.
Yeah, sometimes I really like them because I think the Tampa Bay Lightning's power play is sponsored by a power company.
Yeah, same with the Red Wings.
Yeah, see that's smart. That's cute. But then it's like, this is the Little Caesars penalty kill, and I'm like, what does that even mean?
It means if the Red Wings kill a penalty, everybody gets Little Caesars, but they can't kill a penalty because Jonathan Bernier is their goalie.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I could probably go for a block of Swiss cheese instead of him, but I don't make the front office decisions there.
He had such a good month. I don't know why we're making fun of him.
You started it. Anyway,
yeah.
My pick is a Nemesis common. It is white.
Oh, is this? I actually pretty sure I picked this recently, Jim.
Is it the
Are you for real?
Yeah, is it
Why gotta
fanatical?
do that?
Is it fanatical devotion?
Fanatical Devotion, right? The one you sacked.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Why did I was like,
Why
this
don't
is
you listen
weird.
to the podcast, idiot?
I picked this.
I
picked this
never
like
claimed
3
to do
weeks
that.
ago.
Oh, you're worse. You're the worst. Well, it's a sacrifice outlet. Why is this like a testament to like why Nemesis is an awful set? Why is this a common? Why is this card like the thing that it does? Why is it a common?
I played
Because
Marty's
it was
Wand.
really terrible. It was
Yeah.
it was because they wanted to jam 3 copies of it in the Rebel Yell Rebels theme precon. Oh, they had to call it Rebel Call or something like that at the last minute because they were
Billy
going
Idol
to get
was
sued by
complaining?
Billy Idol. It's like, you can't call that Rebel Yell. I have a Google alert set up every time someone types in Rebel Yell.
That doesn't even make any sense.
You know what?
Like,
maybe
this
happened?
this card would have existed in the same standard format as Wrath of God. They can't get regenerated anyway.
Yeah, well, people weren't even playing Wrath of God back then. They were using Parallax Wave and Stifle.
I actually played.
That's how you got rid of creatures back then, like a boss.
I played Martyr's Cause, or I played it in my Avacyn deck before I took it apart this week. But Martyr's Cause is a very similar white effect that doesn't seem very white.
I mean, this is a very white effect. It's just like, why is this card a common?
I mean, dude, Reconnaissance was uncommon. Rhystic Study was common. Like, so crazy.
Yeah,
back then.
Rhystic Study is a $22 common. Sick.
It got a reprint.
I wish I opened more prophecy boosters. What do you mean it got a reprint? It got a judge promo. That's
It got
not
a
real
mystery
reprint.
booster print.
Dude, I sold.
That's
all
also
of
not
my
a real thing.
bulk.
There's like 1,000 cards in that set, right?
Yep, 1,600 or something. I think.
Yeah, that's not a real reprint either.
Not yet. I think it'll become more influential once the LGS versions hit the market. That's something we actually haven't talked about much. Is that like I think
because we don't know what we don't know. We know that we don't know. We know that like, hey, the stuff that's only available at the conventions with like the weird Gavin Verhey's crayon cards.
The only variance between those two products is not having test prints and having a foil sheet instead.
Yeah, but also, what's going to do to the price? We don't know because it hasn't hit the market yet. We don't.
How much
really
are they?
know
Do we
what
even
factor
know how much they're going to cost?
I mean,
are these $3 boosters or $10 boosters?
they're not $10 boosters, that's for sure, because you can, like, a draft is like $20 or something like that at a GP.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they're $3 boosters? I don't know, man.
Yeah, they're not going to be expensive once the product hits the shelves.
In theory. Well, is it even uncommon in the mystery booster set, or is it like an uncommon or something?
Well, so the
mythic rare.
The rarity in that product is very, very unique because, like, it's in a slot that only Old Order cards can go in.
So it's a rare.
But, like, everything in that set is a rare because the way the packs are distributed is, like, there's 2 white cards, 2 black cards, 2 green cards, etc. for, like, post M15 cards. And then there's, like, 1 old card, one new border rare, and then, like, 1 test print card and 1 other it's like, it's a very interest. So, like, every card theoretically has the same rarity. Except for, like,
everything is a rare.
And when
everything's a mythic rare,
right? But like when it's the Incredibles or whatever, like when everything's special, nothing is. So like everything's also common.
Well, no, not everything's a common because the common would appear more often.
Yeah, great contribution, both of you. This is a worthwhile conversation I'm glad we're having, and that was Breaking Bulk. It was a segment. We did it. We're done. So what DJ was trying to reference earlier when he talked about how you can't play Guttural Response in a red deck yet, Mark Rosewater had his feet held to the fire, and he was asked some tough questions about Commander, a format over which he has no influence and about which he gives no He still waxed philosophical about how he would like to be able to play hybrid colored cards in any deck. So you could play Guttural Response in a red deck or a green deck. He thinks that's
Murderous
a great
Red Cap in Carador, etc.
Yeah, you did it, Morrow. You asked a question that, and it's not Mark Rosewater's fault. A, he has an opinion, and B, people who had no business asking him that opinion asked him for that opinion. You know, it's not his fault. And look, it's not his fault that we all took it real seriously when it didn't really matter. He knew it didn't matter, and nobody thinks it matters per se, but everyone's mad, I guess, that like a guy who's in no position to make any changes to the format would if he were, maybe, or wouldn't, maybe, who knows. All we know is that he said, hybrid mana, and now everyone had to fill their diapers over it. Do you guys have anything that you took away from that interview, having read it?
Soul Ring should stay legal, fight me. I have no strong opinions over hybrid mana. I don't think it would there would be a lot of cards that would go up in price. So if you want to hedge bets in that direction, I think it's like a very minimal risk, like just fun money bet to like put some dollars towards interesting hybrid cards that would get better with very popular commanders.
I wouldn't, because I think if Sheldon had the change to make, he is on the let's stop being able to play Wooded Foothills in Carador versus let's be able to play Murderous Redcap in Carador. I think he's so far away from Morrow on that considering he's like one of the guys that's still in a position to make those changes, I wouldn't bet on what Morrow thinks.
Well, Sheldon's been in that position for like close to 20 years at this point or something like that. And I mean, there's a group of Commander Advisory Committee or whatever they are called that are like, I believe, slowly going to phase into higher positions of power in that format. And I think Sheldon may not be in that position for infinity number of years.
I don't think Magic will be around. Okay, I can't imagine Magic won't be around in 5 years, but I also can't imagine it can, right? Like, this game, every year is the worst year for Magic, but it keeps on going, so, like, I don't know, man.
Magic is ruined forever.
Yep.
With 2 O's. Ruined with 2 O's.
It's ruined.
Ruined.
Yep. Ever since they printed Rune, it's been ruined. It just keeps leaving play and coming back the same as it left.
I was just saying, I think it's been longer than that, right? Like there were runes of protection a long time ago, and they didn't protect anything.
They protected you.
I mean, in theory.
Weren't those
sometimes you had your rune of protection red, and then like they played a black deck, and then you died.
Or no, those were Urza's, right?
Yeah, they had cycling.
Yep.
They did. They had cycling. Buy your fluctuators.
But I mean, like, there's probably cards that, like, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's probably, like, popular hybrid commander cards that slowly go up over time. But, like, you can also just, like, not even buy them. You can just, like, make a watch list and then start and, like, have the watch list ready to buy when if any announcement gets made happens. You can just have, like, a list of 10 cards, like, if this crazy announcement change happens, like, these are the cards I want to keep my eye on, kind of thing. So, I mean, you don't have to put money into it. You can just put, like, mental labor into it for an hour. I don't know.
I mean, I think like the cards that would go up the most are probably like things that people think are good, and then they fucking take out of their deck 2 weeks later.
No, exactly, but you still have time to make money on those as long as you're the first person in line.
I guess so.
I mean, that's true with like most spikes nowadays, right? Like, I'd rather just sell Inverter whether or not it's good. I'd rather just sell whatever the hot new shiny mythic thing is, which it's just the game has just shifted to a point of like selling to the YouTubers hype regardless of whether or not the deck is playable. And I mean, that's true for theoretical hybrid commander cards as much as it is the new Pioneer tech or the new Game Nights video.
Right, and I think that that's a reasonable position if you're like only going to buy and sell cards for a profit. But if you're like trying to play with them, or you're just a hoarder commander player like I am, then we have a different mentality about that, where it's like, if you think you're ever going to play the card, if it's not good now, that's when you should buy it. So, like,
sure.
If you're like, man, I really want a Deity of Scars in my deck eventually, like, I have this, like, Nylea deck, and I really want to play this Deity of Scars in it, just, like, go buy it now, and just, like, don't worry about it, because it's probably not going to get cheaper, but it could get a lot more expensive.
Yes, I agree with that.
Do you agree with me, Jason?
Man, I couldn't care any less about it. I think if you're
like,
going to buy stuff, buy it. Be greedy when other people are fearful, and fearful when other people are greedy, right? Man, you just spent 5 minutes just talking about an old finance chestnut that you could have framed a little bit more succinctly. That's all I'm saying. You can't blame me for tuning out.
I said like 2 sentences.
Yeah, well, it felt like an eternity.
That was Doug's fault.
Okay. That's a good point, man. You know what else is a good point? Nothing Mark Rosewater says will ever affect Commander. And I don't think we should panic about that. Should we panic about the fact that they're still doing the weird irregular BNR format updates and like you never know when they're coming? You never know when you're going to open up Twitter and like, oh shit, I got to spend $300 right now.
Well, if you play Commander, it literally will never matter because they don't ban cards that matter. Or unban cards that matter.
They made a tweet today, they being Wizards of the Coast, that said they will announce future announcements in advance, which is very on brand of them. In that,
because that's what the word announcement means.
Yes, they announced that they will make announcements in the future about announcements.
They announced that they will announce announcements.
Yes. So I believe that is their intention to signal that there will not be zero warning in cases where formats will be upended. I believe they want to say, hey, we're going to make an announcement soon. And I think that they want people to read between the lines. If Modern's on fire or if Pioneer has some absurdly broken deck, I think people will be able to sort of just sort of expect and make changes based on that announcement of an announcement. But I mean, I don't think that this particular change in how things are scheduled or announced is going to be the end of Magic, because as we said, Magic is just this unkillable entity that will trudge on until the sun consumes the earth. So yep.
Yeah, I can't imagine Magic being still here in 5 years, but I can't imagine it ever stopping. Like, I think the game's just gonna go forever, and we're not even gonna like it. Like, the last 25 years I play Magic, I'm going to complain the whole time.
That's what you enjoy most about Magic.
And then you'll finally join the ranks of Reddit. Because everyone in Reddit just complains about Magic the whole time, and you'll finally find your place among the stars.
Oh, and you're better because you complain about Reddit instead?
Yes. We're on the same page now.
Okay. You're on the same page as Reddit, and that...
I'm arguing
with
people.
You're always on the front page, man.
Drama.
Why would you go to any other page other than the front page?
I'm
It's not on the
arguing.
front page is not worth reading.
I'm arguing with
Jim,
somebody.
didn't
who
you get
said that
embroiled in
neck
some
decking was-
subreddit drama? Didn't that happen to you? Didn't you get sucked into some brouhaha?
I mean,
You get embroiled in a little embroglio? Tell us about that.
Short version of the story is I was on Twitter because it's a significantly better platform for consuming content. And Kendra Smith posted a picture of like, oh, they changed this rarity in the new unset. What is it? Unsanctioned?
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that's
unrequested,
that's
unnecessary. I don't know.
cool. Yeah. Unreasonable, I think is what it's called. So I went and I looked to see if there were any other differences in any of the cards because they showed us like the new art for the Timmy, and apparently they changed some other things. So like one of the things they changed was the Johnny card now pictures the cards that are in the combo in the flavor text instead of just like some random ass shit that has nothing to do with what the card says, which is great. Also kind of amusingly, it includes a card that was not printed the first time that Johnny was printed. It has a Faithless Looting on it, which I think is very it's pretty funny considering what happens to that card too. Actually, I think there's like 3 banned cards on it. It's great. And then I was like, oh, hey, they changed Booster Tutor. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, the art changed. And then I was like, oh, wait, well, someone else said the flavor texts have changed. And I was like, oh, the flavor text has changed too. And they changed it from what is like pretty clear toxic masculinity to like a flavor text that's just like enjoyable by everyone. And I posted that on Twitter, and then the fine people at the Free Magic subreddit were like, this is what's wrong with Magic, and there's like people think this is toxic masculinity, and this is why they got the card changed, and there's like, 200 or something replies and replies to replies, and I actually muted the whole thread like way before this happened, so I didn't even know it happened until someone told me. But like people were just like really mad that you can talk about good changes to cards, even though it like doesn't affect the card at all, and it only just makes the game more inclusive, which is good because the more players that play, the more fun game Magic is. Because if you have no one to play with, because you're a horrible neckbeard with bad politics, and then you're just gonna go complain on Reddit about it instead of playing Magic with your friends.
Oh, I know. I don't know what's funnier, the fact that the piss babies think that like they're making an actual threat by threatening to quit if we make the game, more inclusive for, people that aren't cis white men. If they are threatening, like when the trash threatens to take itself out, it's fine. I don't know if that's more ridiculous or the fact that we think they will ever stop playing Magic, because they won't. Like they'll keep playing and complaining. So like,
yeah, I like playing complaining about Magic. I think is the only thing that Magic players like to do more than actually playing Magic.
I mean, and it's such a deep well full of.
Yeah, well, because Magic keeps changing, there's always a new thing to complain about.
Yeah, and that's what's so good about the game. Yu-Gi-Oh didn't evolve fast enough for people to have new complaints, and like it got stagnant.
Well, the people who played Yu-Gi-Oh also didn't evolve fast enough. They just
it was the same old complaints. Oh, someone stole my binder. Oh, someone stole my deck. Oh, someone stole my backpack. Someone stole my anime body pillow that I've been dating. Like, you take anything to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, it's going to get stolen, and that's all they complained about, and it just got really monotonous.
It's either that or they complained about people cheating and the judges doing nothing about it, but that's because the Magic judges are the greatest, and you should make sure to thank them at every opportunity.
Do you want to talk about Secret Lair? Let's talk about Secret Lair.
Dude, I'm gonna be broke. I hate them, but also love them because it's probably cheaper than singles.
The next thing we're going to talk about, and you're like, why are they cutting so awkwardly? We are just off the rails here. So we're going to take about 2 hours to record about an hour of episode. And we'll probably release the full uncut version of this episode for our patrons. So look out for that. But we want to talk about the Secret Lair stuff that's coming out, because apparently they're going to do 96 of them. They're going to do the Year of the Rat, and they're like, oh, let's do the whole Chinese Zodiac, and then let's do Mercury's in retrograde with Constellation Planeswalkers and all this crap. Like, they're got a bunch coming out. What's your guys' thoughts on all of the Secret Lair and the fact that this is a bad thing because you can't have F&M at Amazon?
I mean, they're just from the vaults, right? They're just more frequent.
But there's so many of them every year.
Yeah.
And they're from the vaults that you can't buy from your LGS.
Okay. I mean,
so your LGS doesn't get your money.
They are free money for the Secret Lairs are free money for me, and that's my take on it. I don't have strong feelings.
What do you mean by free money? Do you buy them?
Yep.
Or do you?
I buy them.
Like max out?
I attempt to. Sometimes Wizards figures out how to not let me max out, but.
Well, I thought there was like a certain number that you're allowed to buy. Are you trying to buy more than that?
I'm just saying that Emily really wanted a lot of Secret Lairs too, and so did my brother. And
oh, I see.
And that's whose address I used when I ordered more than my allotment.
Gotcha.
But I mean, the Secret Lairs, interestingly enough, are very, very expensive in Europe because import fees are a real thing. So there's no physical way for Wizards to get those products overseas without people paying a truckload of extra money. So, I mean, if you buy them and then crack them and then send singles to people who you know in Europe who can sell them over there, then you can have a nice little miniature arbitrage operation going on.
That's interesting. Are they more or less expensive in Japan?
I have not checked, but I'd assume it's a similar situation.
Interesting.
Let's check right now.
I might be traveling to Japan in a few months, so I am just curious. Anyway, so they announced that there's going to be 5 new Secret Lairs on Valentine's Day for some reason. Because, like, what better to do?
Because if you play Magic the Gathering, you've got a bunch of extra money on Valentine's Day because you are not spending it on getting laid. You can spend it on Secret Lairs.
Wait, why? Do you pay your wife to get? Never mind. Yeah, so their new Secret Lairs, I'm assuming that because there's 5 of them and there are 15 gods from the original Theros, that it might be 15 constellations. Probably each box will have 1 monocolored god, 1 enemy color god, and 1 allied color god that share colors. So like Perforos, Xenagos, and Tyrannos could be like a box. All with constellation art, and I'm like pretty sure that's just an easy, like the freest money that they could possibly ever make. And since I am a horrible commander scrub and all I do is play with obnoxious foil bad cards in commander, I'm already assuming that I'm priced into buying these and going to hate myself.
Also, Jim, the Secret Lairs are more expensive in Japan. Confirmed, they are.
Fantastic.
I mean, like,
yeah, they're like 10 times as much. They're like $20 here. They're like something like 200 yen. I don't know where they get off charging 10 times as much, but it's BS, man.
200 yen is like $2.
That's the joke. Jason's doing a funny. But like
he's doing a bit.
Reaper King.
Sorry. Yeah, I forgot you're trying to be the Midwesterner that doesn't understand currency conversion.
Reaper King is 1,300 yen compared to like 7 USD. So that's
cool. And are they available in Japanese or are they just English copies?
They are only printed in English.
Sick.
We did it. And then they're reprinted in English when you open it up and the foil has separated from the card back and you need a new one.
I'm sorry, has that happened to anyone?
Oh, yeah. Not only has that happened, people are getting notifications that the rat one was oversold and they have to wait for restock. And they're like, if you'd like to cancel your order, go ahead. But we don't know when you're getting more.
That was, like, known in advance. That was, like, known beforehand. Like, when Wizards put the product up for available to purchase, they said, like, we are printing this to demand, there was like a little thing at the bottom that said like if your order exceeds product capacity or whatever, there may be delays in shipping. Like,
yeah, but nobody read that. They just got an email like this week, and now they're mad.
Right, which is just people being really dumb. That's not.
I don't think you're really dumb if you paid for something and your order went through, and you're like, oh, well, okay, I'm gonna get it. Like,
yeah, you are gonna get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna get it. You're just not gonna get it today.
Oh, you're gonna get it.
Are you gonna give people the business?
It's like the same people who
get
live
it
in
the end.
people who live in fucking Miami who are like, oh no, my foils are curling.
Actually, I think I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think that the higher humidity is actually better for them because I have some unsleeved ones sitting on my desk and they're not curled at all.
Well, like, any humidity in either direction is bad. Like, if you live in the middle of the desert, it'll suck all the moisture out of your cards and bend them. And if you, like, live in a high humidity area, it'll, like, add moisture to your cards, so...
I mean, I have the Serum Visions, the Reaper King, and the Sliver Overlord, and, like, one of the Serum Visions is a little messed up, but, like, for the most part, they're, like, fine.
Which one?
The one done by DXTR.
That's the best way you can describe that, too. There's no reasonable way to describe the differences in the Serum Visions ones.
I mean, I told you the artist.
I know, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, like,
it's the pixel art one with the brains and shit.
DJ, help us out. I'm doing all the lifting here.
Pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
It's time for the pick of the week.
What?
I don't know.
Well, you did a Chewbacca thing. I got it, but why?
Because Chewbacca's really excited for the pick of the week.
Cool. I can't wait to get this podcast demonetized by YouTube because you made a LucasArts sound. I can't even say that
it's not LucasArts anymore. It's Disney. It's even worse.
I can't even say that I have an Android phone without having to pay George Lucas $1. It's bullshit.
George Lucas doesn't own Star Wars anymore. You're just getting by the wrong person.
Story of my life. Getting by the wrong person. The Corbin Hostler story. All right, let's do.
I thought that was running into polls. The Corbin Hostler story. Missing my flight. The Corbin Hostler story.
Continuing to fly American like a battered woman. That's Corbin Hostler story.
Yeah, I was like missing my flight and then running it back with the same company. It's Corbin Hostler story.
My pick of the week is very me. And it's whatever the secret lair is, you should buy it.
God, dude, you can't pick that. That's what I was gonna say.
You both suck. You're both trash. Pick a card, you pieces of trash.
Okay.
You trash people.
Okay, the rat colony from the previous secret lair.
Well, rat colony perhaps was bound to go up anyway because apparently it's a sideboard card in the inverter decks. Because when you play that boring ass, what's that?
No, it's Pack Rat, you Neanderthal.
What did he say?
I said rat colony because
rat colony, not the same card.
Oh, whatever.
I'll pick Pack Rat then.
Ugh, God, you both suck. Why do you suck so much?
Because you're the host.
I'm the host with the most, and I have an actual pick. It could be a breaking bulk, maybe a year ago when this was under $5, but it's now over $5, and people are really noticing that they want to play this in Klothys decks. The card, of course, is Spell Shock from Exodus.
No, that card's so good.
Whenever any player successfully casts a spell, Spell Shock deals 2 damage to him or her.
It's probably also a Croxa card too.
I mean,
it's a card you put into.
Well, you put in Croxa to Mind Crank them, maybe. I don't know.
Torbrand.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, it goes in Torbrand, but like now all the Torbrand cards are getting another look. Citadel of Pain, Zozu the Punisher, Burning Earth, Harsh Mentor, Dictate of the Twin Gods, Mana Barbs.
These sound like metal bands.
Oh, remember the game we used to play and name the scheme, or it's like Scheme or Coheed and Cambria song?
Yeah, that was good.
That sounds fantastic.
Arise Dark Marionettes or something like that. Yeah, so Spell Shock is getting It's going to go up a second time because, like, hey, Torbrand made it go up, but I think people who are aware of Torbrand are putting all the Torbrand cards in Klothys decks because Klothys is just Torbrand but better. So, I think Spell Shock, despite being an uncommon, it's an uncommon from Exodus, which means there are more, like, foil, alternate art, constellation gods than there are Spell Shocks, you know?
Yep.
So, like, there are more foil, full art Heliods than there are Spell Shocks.
All right.
Despite it being an uncommon. So, it's $5 now. I don't expect it to stay there. You're derailing our derailment. Why don't we just put a bow on this podcast and call it an evening?
I'm good with that.
Jim Casale, our guest this evening, formerly of the former podcast Cartel Aristocrats, former writer of BrainstormBrewery.com, current Florida swamp garbage. Where can people find you online?
Wow.
That's aggressive. You can find me on Twitter at PHROST_. You can occasionally find me at Pokemon Go GoFest events because my wife really likes to play that game, and it's the least miserable thing we can do together.
The least miserable thing. Well, I mean, we know you're married now, I guess.
You just described my marriage. The least miserable thing my wife and I do together is wine tasting because we can just get shit-faced together. But the second least intolerable thing we do is play Pogo also. She's way more into it than I am because I'm good at other games too.
Yeah, I know. You never open my gift. We're never ever going to become best friends. I notice.
I'll do that right now.
I mean...
No, you put me on the spot. Look at this. Got my
All
phone
right.
here. I'm going to open your gift because you're going to call me out on my podcast. I invited you on as a courtesy.
Ooh,
and
there's a
you're
lot of
gonna-
guitar. I just opened.
I
I
gotta
opened my
scroll down
game.
real far in my friends list because I have lots of best friends and you're not one of them.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt
You happy?
it.
You happy? You did this?
Am I happy? I don't know.
DJ.
Yeah.
The DJ Johnson.
Yep.
Who doesn't have his own headphones or laptop, but still calls himself a DJ. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at Rose of Thorns. The second O is a 0. You can find me at pretty much every North American Magic Fest this year and a couple in Europe. I am buying for the 95 MTG booth. You can find me under the hashtag Card Garden. You can find all my buying and selling of Magic cards on Twitter. And you can find me on this podcast, the Brainstorm Brewery one.
And
This has been
Jason
an episode.
I'm Jason E. Auld on the Twitter. I have a pinned post where you can find all the projects I work on, the websites I write for, and the podcasts I'm on. And this podcast has been brought to you by ChannelFireball.com. Go to Channel Fireball for all your Channel Fireball related needs. You need magic cards? They got magic cards on that website. You want articles? They got articles. So those are the things that... I don't have a gift waiting for you, but you do have a gift waiting for me, Jim Casale. So
What are you talking about?
I don't have a gift pending from you on Pogo, so
You're
embarrassing
probably not correct. What's your name again? Oh yeah, Hookhand.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
I just held my phone up to the camera. Now you look ridiculous. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. This podcast was kind of a disaster to record, but hopefully there is a salvageable 45 minutes to an hour of material. And you should check in here every single week. I've been your host. These have been my guests. Goodbye, everybody.
have a good night.